So what's really next for Conor McGregor now? It's been a few days since the fight on Saturday. Um, Conor seems the most interested, and he's told the media that he's most interested in that Khabib rematch, and he will be getting ready to make the cut to 155, and he'll be ready to fill in for the Tony Ferguson Khabib fight if someone does pull out. He himself, he does not believe that it's gonna go through, even on the fifth time. He doesn't think that's gonna happen. He thinks it's cursed. He thinks that fight's never gonna happen. So he and his team are gonna stay ready to fill in for that. Now, Khabib has mentioned he mentioned before the Donald Cerrone fight. He mentioned before UFC 246 that even if McGregor wins against Donald Cerrone, he still won't grant him a title shot. He doesn't believe he earned it. He doesn't believe that getting through Donald Cerrone will get you a title shot. Now, I think, okay, Conor McGregor, he can try to fill in that spot, but I think the person in line before that is Justin Gaethje. If you're trying to look for someone to fill in for that spot, it has to be Justin Gaethje. He should be in line to, if something goes wrong in that fight, Justin Gaethje should be the one to fill in, for sure. Now, what is McGregor gonna do now? It's up to him, if he's trying to chase titles or he's trying to chase those big money fights. Me personally, I think it's the title because he has all the money in the world. What is he gonna do with this Jorge Masvidal fight? With these other fights the Diaz trilogy at 170, those are there for him at all times. He can lose and lose and lose, but those fights are always there for him. But if he's trying to go for a title, and those fights are also always there for him just because of his mentality now. He wants to stay active, so he can have as many fights as he wants if he's the way he's thinking. He wants to fight 3 times a year. He has those. If he's fighting 2 more times this year, he can make a fight at 170 and a fight at 155 if he wants. So those 170 fights for him are always there, I think. And I think if he wants to go for a title shot, he could do that at 170 as well. But I think he wants the title at 155 because the Khabib. He wants that rematch with Khabib. But I just don't think that's realistic. If he's gonna wait on Khabib and Tony, I don't know, man. If that doesn't happen for a fifth time again, that would be something, man. That would be crazy if that fight actually didn't go through. Um, so he's gonna wait. So McGregor's already gonna wait till April for that. If even if that fight goes on, if Khabib wins, he's still gonna. It's still gonna. They're still gonna announce the fight for late this year. It's not Khabib is not gonna have a quick turnaround to fight Conor McGregor. He's not gonna fight right away. So Conor's gonna and if he'll fill in. Conor McGregor will fill in if he wants. But if the fight happens, he's still gonna have to wait. It's not that. So I think even I think it's in the best interest. And also another reason why it doesn't make sense for Dana or UFC to make that fight either, because if you want McGregor Khabib 2 will be the number one fight in all of UFC history. Like there's no it will be the number one fight. So if you want that fight, if something goes wrong, if Tony pulls out of the fight and you have McGregor fill in and you want to have that fight on short notice, instead of having it you know instead of hyping it up and whatever, what's it called, instead of building the fight up and getting the fight out, doing all the media and all that stuff, promote the fight. If instead of promoting the fight, you want to have that fight under short notice for short notice, that doesn't make sense. It really does not make sense in any way you think of it. Khabib doesn't want that fight. It doesn't make sense for the UFC to make that fight with just on short notice, I'm saying. So me personally, I believe that McGregor, Justin Gaethje, number one contender fight, and they should have that fight in April. No, they shouldn't have it in April. They should have it in after that maybe. I mean, why not under Khabib? Why not? Whatever. That fight has to happen. The number one contender, and I believe talks are already going on. I think that's the number one fight that they're working on right now. That's the fight to make. That's the one that makes sense. If McGregor wants to stay active, like he said he wants to, then he needs to go through Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje is next in line for him, no doubt, at 155. If he wants to go for a title, I think at 155, he's the only real legitimate title contender. It makes so much sense. Justin Gaethje knocked out Cerrone, or TKO'd. Conor McGregor TKO'd Donald Cerrone. They both went through him. That's the fight to make. Both have them fight whenever. Have them fight for number one contender. Winner will face winner of Ferguson Khabib. Simple as that. Now, if you want to have I don't think he wants to stay at one. Actually, no, I do believe he wants to stay at 170, but I believe that the title shot is more worth to him, and the title shot against Khabib is even more worth to him. So I think he will cut down to 155 for his next fight, and I think it will be against Justin Gaethje because nothing else makes sense. He wants the Khabib fight. Okay, beat Gaethje, then fight Khabib. If Khabib wins, of course. Then he'll be undisputedly number one contender, and Khabib will have no problem with it either. Khabib said he doesn't want to fight him, but him and his dad threw out that number, $100 million he wants for Khabib McGregor 2. We'll see what happens, but after that, after he get that's a lot. It's a lot of talk. He has to get through Justin Gaethje. He has to go get the title, whatever. But we'll see what happens. Those 170 fights are there for him. Anytime. Jorge Masvidal, he's not going anywhere. He's staying at 170. It is true that right now would be the best time for the Jorge Masvidal Conor McGregor fight though, because Jorge Masvidal, he's on top of his game right now. His name is really he's become very famous from this past year. He's getting a lot of fans. A lot of people know him. He's becoming a household name. So that fight right now at this stage would be huge. But I just think it doesn't motivate McGregor as much as the 155 strap does. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Let me know. DM me what you think McGregor's gonna do. I highly believe that McGregor's next fight will be Justin Gaethje, number one contender slot. Winner will fight for the title.